Unlucky Morpheus have a brand new song. It came out a couple of days ago whilst I was on tour with Candid. So as a result, I missed the premiere of this, which I'm kind of upset about, if I'm honest with you, because Unlucky Morpheus is one of those bands who, although they're not one that I get to cover a huge amount on this channel, they have so many things that I really love. First of all, that combination of genres that is so quintessential to Japanese music. Second of all, Fuki's voice. Third of all, Jill's violin. Fourth of all, they know how to rock. And one of the interesting things about this, and it's such a generic word, they know how to rock. But the point I'm trying to make of this is that they do things which are really beautiful, but also have a good impact. You can headbang whilst also going, that's really pretty. So, I'm just telling you stuff you know. Let's jump into some more things. First of all, I've tried to avoid any spoilers for this song, but the one thing that I did pick up from reading a bit of conversation accidentally is that apparently this song is quite catchy. Now that's quite interesting to me because when I think of catchy and Unlucky Morpheus, I don't think of them so much as being a catchy band, but my brain immediately goes to Welcome to Valhalla, which is interesting because Welcome to Valhalla doesn't really have a chorus. It just has one line and then you head back. But still, that's where my brain goes. So I have no idea what to expect, but that's maybe all the preconceptions I have, which I'm glad to be disavowed of as soon as possible. Let's have some water real quick. That was too quick. Right, let's get into enjoying a little bit of brand new Unlucky Morpheus. Oh my god. I'm cleaning my face. Pretty. Oh, it's going to be gaming. I love these esports music videos. They're always so surreal. Oh, it's not esports. It's like a gambling. What's going on? Anyway, enjoy the song. Loving that punky pace. I love how her voice is just gliding over the top beautifully. That juxtaposition. Grand and charging at the same time. It's almost a bit Wagaki band. They're playing Mahjong? I think it's Mahjong. Are they playing Mahjong? I think that's Mahjong. I'm cultured! The melody is really driving this. It's a really lovely rising melody. Ooh. Love adding that extra layer of guitar, building up the chorus. Oh yeah, really screaming guitar solo back there. Nice melodic bridge. Now that can make a song if you do it right. That was a great build into the solo. Yeah, that is so cool. I love those guitar and violin dual solos they do, but that's just beautiful. The way they built up to that and everything. I really want us to drive through. Don't need a breakdown at the beginning of a last chorus, but I get a feeling they're going to do a breakdown at the beginning of a last chorus. Fair enough. That's good. They kept the momentum up. That's all I wanted. The way the lead guitar harmonizes with the rest there is beautiful. I have to give massive credit as well to the bass line. It's very simple, but it's really picking out beautifully. Again, harmonizing against everything else. Why does that look like a Xerox printer? That's what I always thought I was looking at. Okay, this was crazy cool. So it says Sakura Chevalier. I can't help but isn't Chevalier the name of a song they already had? Is this an old song? I don't know. I feel like they've had a song called that already, but I could be way off. Didn't they have a song that went forwards and then backwards? And I think it was called something like that. And go, look, okay, if you're an Unlucky Morpheus fan, feel free to get in the comments and tell me how much you hate me right now. But still, please press like. Like and subscribe. Yeah, this was just so cool. I really enjoyed this. I think that the formula that this works on is a pretty simple one, but it's super effective. The idea is that the song obviously is just momentum. It's almost got a punk-like quality to the way that it's just driving. And the chords, you notice, they're changing regularly. There's no chord held for too long, you know. And I love that fact that the underneath of the song, even though, you know, most of what you're hearing is just sort of like a very simple, punky sort of sound. It's the fact that the chords keep on moving, so it never feels like it gets too bogged down. And because of that constant charging pace and that constant charging chord changes, over the top, it gives Fuki room to just do this long and held melody that really builds up and up. And I just love the fact that she's doing that. It's such a beautiful counter. I just burped a little bit there. That was pretty gross. I had a pretty sizable sandwich before recording this, and I feel like it's having its revenge upon me. The water's like, get back down there. You don't need to know this. So like, it's yeah. So song-wise, I think that simple formula of having a charging underneath to the song that supports a big melody is a winner of itself, and I would say it's pretty catchy. Yeah, pretty catchy as well. But the interesting thing is when we go one step beyond that. That would be enough on its own, but they added that X factor, that element of attention to detail in how both the violin and the lead guitar then expanded upon that. Because obviously Jill's violin is beautiful in this. It adds an extra quality where sonically the whole tone of the song is much more interesting than if it was just the normal contemporary band instruments. You know, you get bass guitars, drums and vocals, you can do plenty of interesting things, but when you have another instrument in there, it adds so much. And once again, Jill's doing that here, not playing anything super complicated, because this is the kind of song where it's so pacey that it doesn't really need her to do anything complicated until with solo. She's just adding texture, and that works though. It gives the song an extra sonic quality, which is so much more interesting. And you've already got Fuki, but then you've got Jill. That's brilliant. But I love the lead guitar work in this, especially how it came in the last half of the second and third choruses. I didn't hear it in the first chorus, but it was the second and third chorus. I think it did this. And it came in and it added this extra layer, which harmonized against the fairly well-structured chord pattern that was happening underneath the song, and added this extra just layer. It expanded, it built up, so that the second time the chorus came round in both those instances, it felt like it was building and crescendoing. Brilliant. I think this was a simple formula, worked really well. Ironically, although this song couldn't be much more different from Welcome to Valhalla if it tried, similarly, I feel like my end conclusion is probably of a very similar sound, in that I would say both of those songs are not the most complex Unlucky Morpheus songs, but they're a good example of how to do a good single, in that they're just very punchy and effective in their very uniquely different ways. Absolutely adored that. I thought that was really good fun, really great. Would definitely come back to listen to that. It's definitely more of a single. I think it benefits from the fact that other Unlucky Morpheus songs are perhaps a little bit more nuanced in other areas. So it's the sort of song which would benefit from being listened to in an Unlucky Morpheus playlist, so that the extra contrast that it has to their other songs helps make it feel even more special. But if you were just listening to this in isolation, having never heard the band before, it would be a song that I'm sure would get you interested in listening to more. And yeah, I did get a little bit of a little bit of a Wagaki band vibe there, with the sort of the quick moving, big sounding backing, the violin being used as a texture. Obviously, Wagaki band don't have violin, but they do have a lot of instruments that are sort of non-contemporary rock band instruments in there. So again, it's that feeling of something that's got a little bit of a extra cultural tone to it, a little bit more traditional instruments happening in there, but still this charging punky vibe and the big vocals. Big fan of both the vocalists, and so as a result, again, very different voices, but I feel like similar quality in making songs feel much bigger. So Fuki and Yuko are both like, yeah, I guess they both use vibrato a lot, but that's about as similar as I would draw the conclusion. Yeah, this was a ton of fun. Really enjoyed this. I gotta be honest though, this reminds me a lot of when video-wise, a video was cool. I noticed that they didn't quite rely so much on the green screen as they have done in other videos recently. You've still got a lot of scenes like this where it's clearly being done with a screen and the text appearing, but it looked cool. It moved really well, had a good energy to it. But then I love the bit where you come in with these little gaming scenes, because the funny thing, it reminded me a bit. So Trident did a couple of songs which were in connection to like esports events. Now, obviously, this is not esports, but it was kind of like, it just made me laugh a little bit, because you've got these like really action music and then someone just sitting down at a computer dramatically putting headphones on. And this kind of has a similar feeling to it, because what I would love is I'd love for this song just to be blasting away in the middle of the solo and then it just stops and then you just see them sitting at a table. Someone moves as a piece. Silence, maybe someone in the crowd. And then song comes back in. I would have done that if I was directing the video, and I don't think anyone would have been happy about me doing that, but that's what I would have done. It's just such a weird mix, a sport like this, which I'm sure is played in very quiet and contemplative feeling, with this like really high energy, high paced song. It's such a surreal crossover, even more so than the esports thing. With the esports thing, even on the screen, you can imagine it just like there's lots of crazy stuff happening on the screen in the headphones. But Mahjong, now, unless I'm seriously mistaken, I've never watched professional Mahjong. In fact, I'm not even sure I knew it existed, and I think this is Mahjong, but I am I'm not aware of this being a high-paced, loud sport. So I just love the fact that these were put together. I mean that. I don't just mean in this sort of a silly way. I mean, it's quirky fun. I love it. It's rebellious. It's a bit different, good for them. So anyway, big credit. This song is, as credited down here, bam. It is official MV. Unlucky Morpheus Sakura Chevalier. I can't speak French. Enjoy it. I did. And until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan, get in the comments. Tell me what you think. And for now, ciao, ciao. I need coffee.